Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Wright, and welcome to Right at the Movies. Today, I'm giving you my top 10 list of summer 2015. There was a lot of great movies, and I wanted to give you guys a rundown of my top 10. If you want to know more about any of these movies, click the annotation, or in the description down below to go to my review. Coming in at number 10 was a personal favorite of mine. It didn't do so well in the ratings, but I loved it. Starring Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart, American Ultra. Jesse Eisenberg plays this, anxious, nerdy kind of guy, and one day he finds out that he's a sleeper agent and he's actually this killing machine. Him and his girlfriend, played by Kristen Stewart, have to figure out what all this stuff means. The whole time the government's sending people to kill them, and they need to figure out what to do. The dialogue was sharp and witty, the action scenes were fun and fast-paced, and I just had a ton of fun with it. Coming in at number 9, directed by Anton Fuqua, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, it's Southpaw. Now, I'm not a big fan of sports, and most of the time I'm not really a big fan of sports-related movies, but a good movie is a good movie, and you don't get much better than Southpaw. Jake Gyllenhaal plays this boxer. He has it all. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He loses everything, and then it's his inspiring story to get it all back. He has to fight for his daughter, he has to fight for his job, and he basically has to fight for his life. I know what you're saying. It's a pretty basic boxer story. However, it's directed flawlessly, with great acting and great cinematography. You've seen it before, but you've never seen it this beautifully done before. I wasn't expecting it to be this great, and it was like a punch in the gut. Definitely check it out. Coming in at number 8, the inspiring true story behind NWA, straight out of Compton. I wasn't a big fan of these guys beforehand. In fact, I only really knew Ice Cube from movies, and I only really knew Dr. Dre from headphones. I knew they were big in the rap world, but I myself had never really experienced their story before. And boy, did I love this movie. Most of the time, movies based on true stories are really tricky. You have to let these real people feel like movie characters. They need to have this inspiring story. And people don't work like that. People mess up. People sometimes are good and other days are bad. And yeah, there's a bunch of stories about stuff they left out of Straight Outta Compton. And that's a shame, but I still loved it. Because at the end of the day, it was a good movie. These guys from Compton who just wanted to be artists and say what they feel and just their rising action from the bottom to the top. By the time the movie ended, I really cared for all of these characters. So while it's not necessarily a perfect representation of the actual events, it's still a great movie. Coming in at number 7, starring Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. Now, I didn't get to do a review of the last movie, Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, but I loved it. Brad Bird brought so much energy and zany cartooniness to it, which is something I thought the franchise desperately needed, was some fun, kind of just a dash of self-aware humor, and I loved every second of it, and I was really worried the next one couldn't top it. And it probably does top it. But that's the beauty of the Mission Impossible series. Every single movie is done by a different director with its own distinct style, that they don't top each other. They just stand also greatly next to each other. Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation had so much going on. It had that insane plane scene, which I couldn't get over in my review, and I still can't get over now. But not only that, it also had one of the best directed motorcycle chases I've ever seen in a movie. Seriously. Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts, and you start to feel like maybe these movies are just excuses for Tom Cruise to do crazy stuff. But at the same time, that's totally fine with me. It's crazy how long this franchise has gone, and I want even more. Coming in at number 6, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, Jurassic World. It's always tricky to go back to a movie after so long, especially a movie series that's one of the most highly regarded and most nostalgic franchises ever. Just about everybody loves Jurassic Park, and they've never done sequels that were nearly as good. Everybody was a little bit worried, including myself. But holy crap, Jurassic World is awesome. Not only does it feel more like Jurassic Park than any of the sequels, it also sort of functions as a reboot. And the monumental star power of somebody like Chris Pratt, who's just in everything right now, and also merging practical effects with CGI in this beautiful kind of combination. It was super fun and super fast paced, and yes, it has its problems plot wise, but it's the first Jurassic Park sequel to feel like Jurassic Park. I definitely recommend it. But who am I kidding? Everybody saw this movie. Coming in at number 5, Marvel Studios' Avengers Age of Ultron. How do you top the first Avengers movie? If you ask a lot of people, you can't. I'm in that small group of people that actually really liked Avengers 2 more than Avengers 1. They had a better villain, and the team is actually together. We waited so long through all of Phase 1 to see these guys team up, but then when the movie finally came out, all they did was bicker and argue. This one took that seed from the first one and grew it. Now they're actually what I wanted from the first movie. They're a team. There's no awkward getting to know each other scenes in this, and they work really well together with a great villain and some great fights, like the Hulkbuster and that opening fight in the snow. Crazy stuff. Really, really fun. And while it didn't have nearly as many memorable lines and quotes and stuff as the first one did, I thought it was a more solid movie. And if this is truly Joss Whedon's last movie in the Marvel Universe, I think he went out with a bang. Coming in at number 4, and staying in the Marvel Universe, AntMan. Talk about a movie with a bunch of drama behind it. Edgar Wright leaving, Marvel pushing it all over the schedule, and still without having a black superhero movie or a woman superhero movie, they really needed to get Ant-Man done? Everybody was skeptical, from comic book fans to just movie fans. Why did we need an Ant-Man movie? But Marvel's earned the benefit of the doubt after so long. And you know what? The formula still works. Ant-Man is amazing. It's really great to have this smaller movie after all these huge blockbuster Marvel movies. Get it? Smaller movies? It's an Ant-Man joke. I made it before in a video, but Paul Rudd is perfectly cast, and instead of all these big saving the world, saving the city type of things, Ant-Man is just a heist movie with really great characters and a really simple yet perfect plot that really closes out Marvel's Phase 2 in a beautiful way, and also really, really sets the tone for more Marvel to come. Coming in at number 3, Inside Out. Now come on. Pixar can't keep doing this, right? Pixar just makes hit after hit after hit after Cars 2 after hit. It's insane how well they're doing. Talk about genius in how it perfectly is a good adventure movie for kids and also a great psychological adventure for adults. Amy Poehler and Lewis Black playing joy and anger. Talk about perfect casting in a movie that I think will be timeless. And like always, the law of Pixar is that you'll cry at least once. I cried twice. Coming in at number 2, Ex Machina. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, like a really, really big sci-fi nerd. And most sci-fi movies right now also are action movies. It's been a long time since something like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Sci-fi can be actiony, but sometimes it's just really thinky. Yeah, I know. So it's been so long since there's been a movie to just think. That's what was so great about Ex Machina. Domhnall Gleeson and Alicia Vikander are amazing in this. Beautiful cinematography and a mysterious plot just sets you up for one of the best movies I've seen this summer. Alicia Vikander is a robot. Domhnall Gleeson's trying to prove if she's human and what human means and what is reality, what's a soul, and is the only movie this summer to really psychologically mess with me. The whole drive home and the whole next couple days, I was just contemplating what that movie meant. Now I love movies. I'm only allowed to talk about a top 10. So before I give my number 1, here's some honorable mentions. Spy with Melissa McCarthy was a lot of fun. I wasn't totally sold on Paul Feig rebooting Ghostbusters, but after seeing Spy, I'm on board. And Jason Statham is absolutely hilarious in this, as is Jude Law. This is the year of the Spy movie, and this is one of the best. Next is Trainwreck. Amy Schumer is making it big right now. She's got her show on Comedy Central, and she's also just doing lots of stand-up, and I was really excited to see this. Really excited to see a romantic comedy. Think about that. And one directed by Judd Apatow? Come on. Trainwreck really surprised me, both in how funny it was, and also how great of an actress and writer Amy Schumer is. Next up is Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland really inspired me, and it had beautiful cinematography, and a really fun storyline. Some of the things didn't work perfectly, and it is a story that we've heard maybe a few times, but it was really inspiring and beautiful. Trying to make another Pirates of the Caribbean didn't quite work, but I think it's a cool movie on its own. Next up is Man from U.N.C.L.E. Guy Ritchie's back, and not with another Sherlock Holmes movie. Now he's remaking a TV show from the 60s that not a lot of people remember. At least not a lot of people who are alive anymore. And a lot like his Sherlock Holmes, this has a lot of energy and cool style to it. Henry Cavill plays the American spy, and Armie Hammer plays the Russian spy. And they have to get along, and there's all this kind of tension because it's during the Cold War. I didn't get to do a video on it because I saw it a little too late, but I do think it was really, really great. And finally, coming in at number 1 of all of summer 2015, one of the few times the hype actually lived up, Mad Max: Fury Road. Who would have thought after so long Mad Max still had all this potential? In fact, I think Fury Road is better than the original Mad Max movies. It's that good. It has more style, more speed, and more characters than any of the other movies. Everybody just didn't expect this, especially from the director of Babe, Pig in the Big City, and Happy Feet. How can a 70-year-old man direct one of the most high-speed action movies of like almost the decade? Tom Hardy plays Mad Max taking over from Mel Gibson, and he barely says a word, and yet he's still really great as Mad Max. But stealing the show is Furiosa. The whole movie should be about her. In fact, it basically is about her. Everything is great in this movie, and while there isn't a lot of storyline to it, that's fine because there's world building going on. There's character, like psychology stuff going on, and there's just beautiful pacing going on. But with awesome stunt work, and one chase scene that lasts for like half the movie, and a guy playing a flame-throwing guitar on the back of a truck. Flame-throwing guitar, and it really works. Mad Max Fury Road is the #1 movie of summer 2015. What do you guys think of my top 10 list? What's your top 10 list? Comment down below and tell me. I had a lot of fun this summer with a lot of great movies and some not so great movies. But I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching movies and watching me talk about movies. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Mr. Wright. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.